Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got from Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin on the Nintendo Switch and on PC. And that's the fact that the official Monster Hunter Twitter account, both for North America and Japan, officially revealed that Monster Hunter Stories 2 has now shipped over 1 million units worldwide. So they're thanking the new writers and embarking on this adventure with them. Essentially what they're saying is that they've shipped over 1 million copies and people are going out and purchasing a copy of the game and actually supporting it, which is something that I'm pretty sure Capcom had been pushing for heavily with their integration with Monster Hunter Rise, and hoping that a lot of that Monster Hunter Rise audience would actually go ahead and support this game. And it seems like at the very least some of them did, because selling about 1 million units 10 days or so after the game originally launched is pretty impressive, again, for something like a spin-off, which is what this series actually is. Let's remember that the game did launch on July 9th, and this is basically being reported on July 19th, where you guys are going to be seeing this on the 20th, so roughly about 10 to 11 days after the game launched. So there is the fact that the game is available on Nintendo Switch, presumably it did very well, but also the fact that the game is available on PC via Steam. So this is also another brand new audience that they're adding in, presumably thinking that, hey, maybe the Nintendo Switch audience wasn't going to be all that receptive to it, so let's supplement some of that with the Steam audience. And from what I've seen, actually, the Steam sales figures have been rather impressive for what they are. Again, this is a JRPG, it is like on a North American audience, so they are trying to like jump a couple of barriers here and there, but the fact that they're actually like getting people to pay attention to it is impressive nonetheless. Now obviously this isn't even gonna come close to what Monster Hunter Rise already did. I believe they officially announced like over 7 or 8 million units sold already. This was a couple of months back, so Rise should be getting closer, maybe even to 9 million, maybe even 8.5 or so. So you know, this isn't gonna even come close to that once it's all said and done. But the fact that it's still selling as well as it is, and when you start to put it in context, and I had to look this up a little bit because there's no real easy place to be able to find this information. And again, this sucks. Sales data should be available just about everywhere you go. Like a lot of gaming sites should just have a database for this kind of stuff. It's sadly like tucked away in like random websites that you have to look up for. But I was able to find at the VG Sales website, which to me, I think they're a little bit shaky. They're not necessarily always on point when it comes to actual sales data. But they're, according to them, they're saying that Monster Hunter Stories 1, that's the one on the 3DS, sold about 310,000 copies. So that's not even remotely close to 1 million. That's about a third of that, even less than that. So if they're saying that like Stories 2 now sold 1 million copies within the first 10 days, that's extremely impressive. Again, when you start to put it in context, let's say even if this website is about 30% off, which would be a lot, let's say that Stories actually ended up selling north of 400,000 copies. That's still not even 500,000, not even close to what this game has already been able to do on both Switch and on Steam. So the fact of the matter is that even at 300,000 copies on the 3DS, or let's say 400,000 if you're being optimistic, those were enough copies to merit a sequel. Now the fact of the matter is that now we're at 1 million, perhaps this game is going to end up doing 2.5 million at the end of the day. That's probably going to call for a sequel once again. So we're going to probably end up seeing in Monster Hunter Stories 3, if this sales trajectory continues. Again, it's probably going to slow down with realistic expectations within the next month or so, because again, just games sell originally at launch extremely good and then they drop off within the first couple of weeks. So realistically speaking, if this game ends up doing north of 2 million copies worldwide, I think that's going to be pretty impressive, and it's probably going to warrant a sequel directly from Capcom. The only thing that I'm wondering right now is why they didn't announce a pack of like free DLC stuff to celebrate the sales figures. They usually did this with Monster Hunter Rise when they were providing us with sales data and stuff like that. For this game, they didn't necessarily do that with the reveal of the 1 million sales mark. So I did find that a little bit interesting. Hopefully we'll see something in the future with a couple of free items added into the game for everyone, since you know they did purchase the game and they're just rewarding players for being supportive. But that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys found it informative and you are enjoying Monster Hunter Stories 2. I know that I'm actually a little bit tepid on it. I got to a part of the game that I was not necessarily having a lot of fun. I believe it was like the Frost area or whatever. I think the story just kind of kept dragging on and on and on, and I wasn't necessarily having a lot of fun with it. but I've started to pick it up in the past couple of days a little bit more, and I'm having a little bit of a better time. Not necessarily worrying about going into every den that I see, just focusing on like trying to find the rare ones, and then if they don't come around, whatever, it is what it is. But I'm actually having a little bit of a better time with the game now, as I picked it up at a second time with a more relaxed approach. And I'm also like, I don't have to worry about reviews because I was doing a couple of reviews before. So now that I don't have to do that, I'm actually just having a much better time with it. Although, again, it's still not Monster Hunter Rise or traditional Monster Hunter, but you knew what you were getting in for when you purchased it. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!